Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Road Cup. It is, I think it's the first time we've been calling it the Road Cup, but it's qualifier number 2 here in our August $10,000 main event. Remember, there's still chance for all of you to play. So if you want to sign up for qualifier number 3 and try and get your team into that top 16 in the standings to make it into the main bracket for that $10,000 main prize, just go to checkmategaming.com or go to us on Twitter at CMG_Rogue. It's the pinned tweet. Click that link. You can sign up for our third qualifier, which will be next week, I believe the 21st on a Saturday. But hey, we're back. Kresnik, our next matchup is coming at you. It's LAGr versus Hefty Fox. Again, this is that matchup with the team that I really was interested in watching today. Of course, on LAGr, we've got King Prene, Drew Whitlock, Rock Soldier, Elvin Calderon. We know about them. We just watched them win a 3-game set there against Vibes 999. LAGr was on the trend downwards. Now it's kind of reversed, right? Vibes was going up. LAGr was going down, but now it's reverse. And now they're going up against a team which might just be a pickup team. Who knows? But, you know, I've been getting word from our insider, Rome, that Right Turtle will be returning next week with a new fourth player, and it's a really good one. But for right now, we've got Hefty Fox, Fank, Spencer, Slopodopoulos, Thanatics. Again, Thanatics and Fank haven't played for quite a while now, so it's going to be a lot of changes that they're going to have to get used to. We'll see how that can affect them. But Slop, you know, he won a 10K, not last month, but the month before. Now he's back, leading a new squad, but it's not a squad of newer players. Just some rust that needs to be taken off there.
And I think that rust might hurt them against a team that has been a unit as long as LAGr have been. And I think it could be almost a repeat of the last set that we were watching. I think demo is going to probably be where LAGr kind of plays the strongest. They're going to have set strategies that maybe will be able to kind of find holes in the armor for some of these pickup teams. Come Respawn, we're going to see a bloodbath probably between these teams. We're going to see some likely aggressive play from a newer roster, just like Hefty Fox, to try to weaken LAGr. And then we go back to demo, and unless the rust has completely come off, that could be the advantage that LAGr might lose if it comes all the way there.
Yeah, you know, I would say that Fank does not like respawns in this, so he's going to have to really go hard in demolitions, but you do have to win 2 of them, and there's only 2 of them in the best of 3, so you got to at least win 1 of those. Let's go ahead and take a look at the series layout since we're talking about which games they're going to have to play. Let's see where they're going to play those. Windward for our demolition game number 1. Icarus for King of the Hill. That'll be a little crazy. And then if needed, again, Breach will be our demolition. So this is what I was talking about when you haven't casted a demolition breach is what I was trying to say. I guess I forgot to mention that part there. But yeah, you've done plenty of King of the Hills on breach, but no demo. It's been added for the first time this month. Just last week was the first time we got to watch it. I think it was in the grand finals as well, and it was map 1. So it was awesome that we didn't have to go to a game 3 to see it because there was no game 3 in the grand finals. But if we see it here for game 3, it will be breach, and we're just waiting on those bans to come through. So let's talk strategy here, because you know we love to, right? Especially when it's teams with rosters that we haven't seen in a while. Thanatics is someone that played a lot of Kestrel. If he's very comfortable on it, we could see him come out on that again. If not, it'll kind of be a surprise to us all because we haven't seen him in a while. He hasn't played in a while. Last time he played, Kestrel got $1,000 extra for a down, and now it's $500. But again, she's been doing really good. We could see Fank come out on something weird as well, because he's always in the past tried to change the meta. You know, him and EXO in the past were kind of like, you know, Ronan's really good, and everyone else, especially the North American region, were saying, we don't really like Ronan, we like this. And they never really played it. EU is also kind of the first of it to bring out the anvil on attack, right? They did a lot on factory and demolition. So then North America kind of picked that up. Ronan wasn't really picked up. I mean, there was the guy that played with Moho a lot, he kind of used Ronin back then. He used Sigrid a lot when she first came out. No one else really did. Sigrid had a little bit of limelight there for a moment, but that quickly dwindled. So it's kind of a toss of what we could see here. This is the classic NA versus EU showdown right here. I don't know if Spencer is from EU, but I know that the other three members, Fanatics, Fank, Slop, we know that they're from EU. So this is kind of that EU NA. We could see a difference in rogue selections just because of that. But again, it's pretty cut and dry, right? Ronin, Fixer, Lancer, Vi, these things wreak havoc, whether it's Demolition or in King of the Hill or any respawn, right? Because Strikeout, some things can go crazy as well. We could see a Sigrid from what I'm being told. I mean, Spencer plays Sigrid, so we could see that come out as well. That could be the spice that Fank brings out with his squad here. I know, I will tell you this. If Fixer's available, I think Slop will be salivating. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't like the changes. Maybe he loves it that the tier has 2 bullets again, and he has Replenish. So, pop, you could just body shot with it. Again, you don't have to hit the head anymore, right? You don't have to hit a body with the sniper and then quickly swap to the pistol, which also got some changes as well. Got one change. They improved the damage range and further reduced the accuracy bloom on that Warrant pistol. So Fixer Sigrid.
If it was one shot, it'd be better. It would have been a little better if it still was one shot. If you could, but get that little bit of extra poke from a little bit further away. But still, the tier can do it itself now. And if we're gonna see it, I think Windward's a map where it could happen, right? I mean, I fully expect to see a bunch of intel rogues, but it's got some wide angles that you can use. There's some areas where you're gonna have those close confrontations, but at the very start, you can go for some picks with it. And if the warrant's better, might as well fall back on it if you do have the tier in your pocket. Plus, you can swap.
Look, I'm thinking about Windward. Even though it's a demolition, I just keep thinking about this conversation that I bring up to Rome all the time. Dima is 2-0 in Strikeout Windward in Roco competitive play. Okay. And now
I'm following.
He's 1-0 on Windward King of the Hill. So it's only right to bring him out on Windward Demolition so he can have a 100% win rate in all 3 game modes. On Windward.
Is this, have you been planting the seeds for this since you mentioned that they might be trying something new? It's like, oh, they're coming back. Fakes likes to do some weird stuff.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you've been trying to plant the seed for that. If they're watching this while they're getting ready.
Hold on, let me look at the notes here. Let me look at the notes. Let me see what they did to the Mamba, okay? Because this might change my mind.
I'll pull that up as well.
Yeah. Let me see. We'll pull it up. As we jump into the game, I will see what we did to the Mamba here. Game number 1 coming up. Oh, wait a minute. The Mamba got a buff on all 3 upgrades to this gun, baby. Level 1, increased mag size, reduced bloom. Level 2, reduced recoil, and further increased hipfire accuracy. Level 3, increased damage range, and increased movement speed while aiming. And you can put Stalker on that? Oh, baby. The bans are in, by the way. Lancer is Hefty Fox's ban for the demolition. LAGr will be banning out Fixer. So no Fixer. But we will see a Ronin come out on both sides. Spencer, Drew will be the ones using her. Elvin and Fanatics will both bring out the Dahlia. Rock Soldier brings out the Seeker for their intel. On the other side, Fank on the Talon. Chalk coming out for LAGr. And Glitch coming out for Hefty Fox. So we will see a little bit of difference between these compositions. Only constants are the Ronin and the Dahlia. And, of course, those are the Lynx because she'll be immune. Tracker rounds, she'll be immune to the Seeker arrow as well. Already immune to Talon's radar. But just a little extra in there for you. She will not be immune from LAGr's side because of that glitch. So he can still see her as they fly in.
And that's kind of why I like the glitch here. I think it's a little off the beat for Windward from my experience here, but early utility gone right away from the Ronin, from Drew, as they take cannons very quickly. Really no contention. You can see Fanatics playing very defensively, just trying to get some info of his own if he can see anybody. But all in all, pistol round a little bit slower than you might expect, and Slop is just scanning the area.
And that's exactly what he needs to do. Just scan for it. See if you can find out where the Ronin is. He can see that Rock Soldier's there. I think he can see the Ronin as well. So, see, I'm not too familiar with how range actually is in perspective.
She might be entering and leaving, which I think gives information as well, right? They know that they're kind of going back and forth, but they had the information. A fight gets forced out. Neither side gets really low. Rock, the one that now has to wait, and we're back up. Some utility is just gone.
Oh, Glitch is going to win this. He's got the invisible pistol. Look at this, baby. What I say. And then some shots on the pre-nade as well as he jumps over half wall towards the A site. Bomb still hasn't been planted. Site has been taken over now. Elvin moving in. Look at this skin. This reminds me of some Hello Kitty. I think it's the Money Cat resemblance, but by the way, the hoverboards, kawaii. And I just watched the Toys That Made Us episode with Hello Kitty. She like revolutionized the scene. So that was just makes me think of that when I look at the hoverboard now. It's awesome. Bombs planted, but everyone's eliminated. The defense nicely wraps back around to their own side of the map, comes through pit, gets it done, gets the defuse. It's 1-0.
Slop's positioning early, I think, kind of set the tone for that entire round. Immediately, at first, I thought Slop he got there so fast, just at a glance.
That's what I was going to say. He
behind
got
his
there.
team scanning. He was there immediately. That is a chokehold they put them in. They had them completely surrounded from the very start. Let them get in a little bit, but they had all the info the entire time, and then when they needed it. It was just a heads-up movement from them, and shows that they're pulling out strats. They're pulling out game plans, even though they have the same level of experience together that they're facing in LAGr.
It's almost as if he spawned on the same side of the map because, I mean, you blink and he was already there. It was crazy. He put the Nikes on. Fank Fanatics playing in the back of that pit. Fanatics up on top. Or excuse me, Fank up on top. Fanatics playing in the bottom portion of the pit. This time, Rock Soldier, he is ready and waiting, but I don't think it's coming the same way. You can see he has a teammate with him this time. Spencer kind of fading mid. He will not be revealed if that arrow comes through. Seeker will be on that radar now. Or excuse me, the iPhone. He comes out. He gets shot up, but there's a Ronin coming down mid. Drone. Oh my goodness. Drew's the one who was credited with the knock. Good cover fire from him to help the Seeker out. They were able to take out another member as well. I think that was Spencer and Slop both getting taken out in the mid. Fank now getting taken out as well. And Drew, oh my goodness, with the double. Drew, I think he got all four that time.
I think he did.
I think he got the 4K. As Rome would say, I'll give it to him.
And you might as well, because I think he was a key factor in that round. Rock Soldier also, of course, winning the gunfight after kind of surprising Slop with the timing. Slop thought he had the upper hand, came around that side, already just left as they caught Spencer doing that wide rotation all the way around to, or being alone on B, excuse me. And then they just said, all right, well, we'll just cut back over this way. He's way back. He's the only one. We'll just shift straight through mid. No one's watching it on the defensive side, so we'll get this bomb down. And then Ket caught them immediately with those two picks, trying to rotate back over. Only two players left. The nade basically did like 170 damage, just that one frag. They were able to clearly after that. Fanatics watching the cross can't really contest it quite yet. As Drew is waiting to find someone else on the flank, waiting for losing the gunfight. Only 36 HP left. Has to use the ballistic downs himself, but still takes Slop down with them and might still get revived. Makes the move.
That's a good trade. However, I mean, he gives himself up, but he finds the kill on the most important member. Yes, he dies, so the Talon can get as much potential as possible for the defense. But again, taking out that glitch takes out that entire flanking presence. Just doesn't work out because everyone else died. So Chalk all alone here. Has the bomb in hand. It's a Talon and Ronin on the defensive side still alive, waiting to make their move. But if they're smart, they don't have to make a move at all. They can't even allow the bomb to get planted. Pops up, and oh my goodness, Spencer going down to half health, but quickly made work of the Chalk. KA-30, something we haven't seen in quite a while, or I feel like we haven't seen. I think we've seen a couple S. The KA-30, good assault rifle, another gun that Dima has. Just to throw that out there for everyone.
Make sure you get your practice in with it when Blue inevitably uses his sphere of influence to get Dima in every team comp. It will happen. He saved up for that moment.
Listen, Frag told me last week he would use Dima. I asked him, and it didn't happen, so
okay.
I don't know. I'm pretty upset with him.
You got to take it up with him, man. You got to take it up with him. You know, Dima maybe will come out at some point. We thought we might see it on Windward. Obviously not the case here. So they have the similar defensive setup. You can see also 3 players there. They're just trading some spam back and forth, but it won't soften anyone up. Maybe a Merv could have caught them over there, but obviously Dima not in the picture here for you, Blue.
I mean, if I get a Dima jacket or like a Road Company jacket, I will stop, right? I will never speak a word of Dima unless he's in the game. Again. Revive coming through. Slop getting a little bit. Okay, he says. Slop trying to get the revive, but the bounce nade from Rock Soldier will put a dent in that. 3-1 now. Hefty Fox with the lead. The defense reigning supreme here for the 3rd demolition in a row for us here, but this time it is not LAGr with the lead.
Yeah, it's not exactly what I expected either. I thought that we were going to see the coordination we just saw LAGr utilize against Vibes kind of push them ahead, but Elvin being shut down significantly more than the previous game. Elvin was doing so much versus Vibes, and here it seems like any attempt he's making is just kind of getting caught. And everyone on the side of Hefty Fox is kind of sharing in it. You can see the elimination so evenly spread. 7 and then 3 6s immediately after. They are all doing the work that they need to here. But aggressive push now onto B. Sticky Sensor clearing it out. You can see Speckley this time won't get caught out by surprise from the aggressive push. He'll just give up that truck, play for the retake. They'll give up the bomb plant more than likely, but they have all their numbers here to make this push work.
And by the way, forgot to mention the K30. It's third. Oh, nice ballistic knife. Finds a direct hit on a fake as he was falling off of the truck that he jumped up on for just a moment. But the K30's 3rd upgrade now gives you the ability to ready your weapon faster after sprinting. I forgot the name of what that perk used to be in Call of Duty, but it's basically that, where if you're sprinting, you can aim down your sights a lot quicker. Ready up, I think it was. Production just shout out to our producer, as he knew that. Ready up, I think. Oh, well, it was Rome. I'm going to give credit to both of them. But ready up. So basically that's in the gun now. I think the Mark assault rifle Saint has it as well now. So adding something new to the game, a little flavor. So if you see a Ronin sprinting at you with an assault rifle, you better aim as quickly as you can, or just start spraying. Spraying and praying. Another round goes in defenders here. As they are dropping in on those beautiful hoverboards once more here in round number 6 of Windward. It's not looking good for the attacking LAGr. I think they've only gotten a bomb planted once. Even then it got defused. I think that's the
only time they've really been able to make it work, and they just got kind of wiped off the map after that. Blue, you made me feel my age, because I was going to say lightweight pro, and that was what it was in probably 2009, 2010.
Okay, yes, I remember lightweight pro.
Definitely feeling my age
Chris,
there.
don't feel old, man. I'm older than you, bro.
Rome is up to date here, but they're not feeling too much pressure, it seems, from the defense from LAGr. They just walked and got the bomb planted. It is a down on each side. They should be able to get those reses. They don't need to take this fight, but a double down in response with a nade. Only one player standing for Hefty Fox.
And this might be the tide turning here, as they are trying to get as many of the last 2 rounds as possible. Hopefully both of them to make it a 4.5. I wouldn't say this map is really one-sided on either the attack or defense. It's kind of just what you bring to the table in your composition, how well you execute your game plan. It's kind of like Vice, point where if you can perform something well on either side, you can get it done. Ronin knife comes out, but it misses the target. Chalk, little jump up in the air and dodges it, finishes him off with the D40 in his hands as well. So that will be their second round. The bomb had gone off anyway, so even if he did get that kill with the ballistic knife, it wouldn't have mattered. Now the downs are starting to come through. I mean, basically, Roco has got to prove that he is the best Ronin in order for the team to find any success here on this attacking side. He did it once, got a couple knocks that last round, so that set up the team to finish it off. See if he can do it again. Dropping in. Elvin falling from grace this game. Elvin's one of those players where I always notice he has the skills. He has the mechanics. His game sense grows every day, but he could never really find a roster to stick with. Every week it seemed like he was on a different roster. Sometimes he wouldn't play. I'm glad he's found a roster that he can call home on a consistent basis. From what it seems like, they're happy with him. And he's happy with them. They're working together very nicely, making it to the finals here today. This game, however, not been the best of those.
You got your up games and your down games, but I mean, Elvin is dedicated to this community, obviously, from the events that he runs to the amount of time he spent playing. It's so good to have a dedicated team to work out with them, but no amount of dedication will apparently get you that round, just torn apart from start to finish. Utilitied out and not able to recover, so the Science will now, they're going to find themselves in the defense on the side of LAGr and hoping that they can get the same results that Hefty Fox were able to get. And that has to do with, I think, Fox's willingness to push, but then hold and just make LAGr feel the pressure.
Feel the pressure. Well, LAGr's feeling the pressure currently. Maybe even more so Drew. This time he will not be on the Ronin. He's bringing out the Talon. And that's not looking good because Spencer is coming out on that Ronin once again. So there'll be no Ronin on the defensive side for LAGr, although Hefty Fox is bringing it out on both sides of the ball this game. We'll see a glitch once again from Slop. I heard he really enjoys playing the glitch. I mean, he was trying to bring it into the meta there for a moment. Now it's there. He gets to play with the wrap on that weapon. Oh, my goodness.
Real bright. You're not going to miss it. That's for sure. Making up, I guess.
It's like the Nick and goo. The slime, I mean.
Slop wants him to know that it's slime time. He's going to connect some.
The Slop slime.
So the Slop slime special. He'll be giving that to them this round. He gave it to him in the first round last time. His pistol round performance has been very solid. He's basically in the same spot he started his defensive round in. So interesting to see things come full circle as he's just waiting for someone to try to do that flank, and he might be catching out. It's a close player. It will be Drew. Does see him, even with that change to Ronin's passive. How far away is he? They have intel on him, so now they definitely know that he is there. Early chip, but nothing else. That is actually a Talon. Could not tell from my feed.
Would
but
it
still
be
knows that he's there.
If you gave that a... Would it be too overpowered if you gave like a visible radius when you pull out your iPhone? As Elvin finds a triple. Hold that thought. Elvin. We just said he wasn't having the best of games today. And he said, hold on. Let me just triple up with a pistol in my hand. The Executioner. Oh my goodness. That puts him at 7 downs now.
Big recovery for Elvin. He needed it. I think from what they had earlier, your Dahlia has that pop-off potential, and being paired with the Kestrel, if he was last round, will line the pockets a little bit better as well. So good boost there in the cash department might help them kind of start scaling out against Hefty Fox. That is something it could be one of their avenues to turning these halves around. Fox really didn't get much done in that half. See if they can do much else here. They start with a fairly slower start. You see, they caught Fank on that rotation. They know he's going to be taking cannons. They have some intel to start here, but no real intel gathering other than that Talon, and two of them are going to counteract it on the other side.
Playing a little bit slowly inside bar. Fank, Spencer working together. Prenade is sitting at the bottom of those steps there to the left of that bar. That would be in pit. C4 comes out. Can he find anything from it? Yes, he can. He delayed that a little bit. Are they going to be able to pick up Fank? Fank will be the one playing the Kestrel, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Slop gets taken out. Elvin found Thanatics. Drew found one. And now things are really starting to... Yeah, I was going to say, LAGr on the defensive side, continuing their trend here, as they have been a defensive stalwart on Canals and Lockdown. Here, they're doing it again on Windward. Their attack, a little lackluster, but they're making up for it so far. 2 straight rounds now, 5-4. They still trail by 1, but on the trend upwards.
So they can keep that going. It was not slime time that round for Slop. Lost the duel he was able to take, but he is still topping for his team currently. I do like the comp that they brought out on the defense here from... sorry, on the attack, excuse me, from Hefty Fox. I think having the double counter to the reveal into that Talon ended up paying off for them, but it's just... they're just getting caught out before that even really matters. Even with the intel that they are kind of able to get here. Slop probably sees Rock Soldier fairly close by. You hear some damage, some utility coming out already. Nothing found other than a little bit of damage as Fank makes this rotation. Can they catch Rock out? Yes, barely on the back end of it. Talon will be able to rotate over to help, and looks like a free B, but a potential 3v4 retake open now. If they don't get that space up early.
I want to know if they're going to try. Oh, there you go. If they were going to... I thought maybe they'd hide in truck stop a little bit longer, see if the attackers would try and push towards that second truck, but they popped out a little too soon, and Slop, now it's slime time, although that gun has a different rap with it, as he finds 1, 2, 3, and he pushes their lead to 2 now, as it is 6-4. Slop with 14 downs himself.
Wow.
Whew. You add up
one less.
Yeah, one less than the rest of his team. That's what I was trying to get to there. Wow. That's a pretty good glitch player there.
Pretty sure went into that round with 10 also, unless I'm mistaken there. So I think he got every down in that round for his team. Slop, 1 week off, comes back, definitely is not any worse for wear now that he's back in with the new group of guys over here.
He got a little practice in. Got a little refresher. Didn't have to focus up for a week 1 tournament. Just said, you know what, I'm going to rest. Let me just enjoy the game. And he's coming out heavy with the glitch here on Windward. 2 more. They'll be able to win game number 1. Has flashbangs. Gotta imagine he has the Semtex there as well. Bomb being planted, and he's right next to him. Oh my goodness, Elvin. He ends up getting taken out. Spencer gets revived, but still, that right there is a play that delays the offense, because now the defense has a couple seconds to make their move. And that's exactly what they're able to do. King Prenade finishes off Spencer this time. Says, you know what, you're not getting out of here alive. They are playing with the anvil, so they do have the shield for retake. They elect to put that up. Something just got thrown there. It was a C4. Thanatics shot the C4, and it downed him. He gets finished off as well. Slop inside bar all alone, finds 1. Ducks out of cover with 41 health, throws a flashbang, but I think that's Anvil. He'll be immune. Everything's being thrown at him, and he's ducking and weaving everything behind the bar. It's like a Western shootout right now. And the bomb goes off. Nobody could get to that bomb in time. Rock Soldier, the last man standing. No chance at it. Oh my goodness. Spencer getting Dahlia revived was massive.
Mm-hmm.
And then Slop's ability to stay alive inside that bar. Two members
Slop
gunning him.
Yeah. Continuously the hero here. Continuously the hero. I mean, he has shown up multiple rounds in a row, making his presence known into the members of LAGr when they are kind of working the slow game pretty well. I was going to say in that round, if I had a chance, I'm like, oh, Slop has some decent intel here. He knows that there's only 2 people. They still lose one, and then Slop pokes his head up and basically takes down 2 of them instantly. So he is just constantly showing up for his team this time as they change their game plan maybe a little bit. Slop very far forward on B, I think, just looking to scan it. But if they know what's going on LAGr, never mind, his entire team is here with him. They're going to get this bomb planted, and it's going to be an even 4v4 post-plant.
See, this time they took control of this second truck up here. So now they have more space to not allow the defense to get back in. That was a quick down by Slop. Oh my goodness. That's an SMG with that amount of accuracy. Halo Drones comes out, but that's just going to push him back. Nice shots coming out from Drew. And that's a massive pick on the Slop. If they get that revive, it'll be good for them. C4 comes out. Fank found pre-nade. The hack is coming through. He cannot escape it once it latches on. He's able to take out one, but couldn't find the second one. The double peek was just too good. 8-4. LAGr loses their first demolition today out of the 3 that we've seen them in so far. And, well, I would say that Fank and Fanatics, they're looking mighty fine after not playing for such a while, especially Fank. He was playing on the Talon and the Kestrel, and he was just beaming with both of them, whether it was the Deadeye or that Riptide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replays here as Kresnik tells us why the EU team is able to come out of the shadows and still be as great.
I mean, one thing is maybe they came in without kind of a pre-idea of what this would be with the break that some of them were able to take, just the opinions of Slop and Spencer, who had been actively playing here. But, I mean, a lot of it was just these clutch situations with Slop kind of coming in to win some of them, obviously. There's general good aggressive plays, finding holes in LAGr, predicting what they would do. Whoever is in charge of their plays on these maps is doing just fine. They were constantly catching sites completely empty in a lot of these situations. There's one that maybe didn't quite work out because of Elvin kind of showing up there, but they shut down Elvin in the beginning off of the way that they decided to play that defense. It just couldn't do the same thing on offense, which gave LAGr a chance to recover. Still, with the way that they were playing, I feel like it'll carry over well into a King of the Hill, and Icarus is an interesting one. It's all about that central site, that central hill that you can play on if you can control them, but it's random now. It might not be a one after the other. That hill before might become a little bit more important.
You're right. By the way, I just got to mention, we were watching those replays, and when Slop was getting those kills, he was reloading that You see how fast that reload is? Ridiculous. That's partly why he was able to turn around and fire down on people so quickly. He can just empty the clip and reload in the time it takes him to spin 180 degrees. So, man, some of these buffs to these guns are just insane, especially when put in hands of good players. Once again, game number 1 goes in favor of Hefty Fox, 8-4 on our Windward Demolition. Now we're heading to Icarus for King of the Hill in game 2. Fixer will be the ban coming out from LAGr. They do not want Slop to play Fixer, it seems like. And Hefty Fox will be banning out Vi. So, Vi is a power pick, so is Fixer, but we know that that's one of the bans that could come through. Vi, however, is usually only banned in King of the Hill now when it is banned. It's not banned all the time. It's not banned a lot, but it has a good ban percentage, I would say, among the other power picks when it comes to King of the Hill. So with that being said, Lancer's available. The last time we saw an EU team, I would say, of this caliber on Icarus King of the Hill, we saw Emis play Lancer here with 67 eliminations. I think you were the one casting that game with me. So Spencer,
That
he
sounds
played
about
well
right.
in the Ronin. That could mean that we could see him be given a Lancer. Could he make some big plays with that? Also means we could see Kestrel come out. Maybe Fank will pull that out once again. We could see something crazy come out from Slop. I mean, he's not going to play Fixer here because it's banned. Probably not going to play Glitch. So we could see something like a Chalk come out for him.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that. And I wonder if LAGr might be regretting the Fixer ban after that first round, because obviously it's not really slowing down Slop too much to not have the Fixer. I mean, he's played against Justice, who banned Fixer all the time in the past. Against him specifically, clearly, we know he has a deeper rogue pool than that. We'll be able to pull out, I think, whatever they need. I would love to see the Chalk, though. I fully expect to see that. And the Lancer, as you had mentioned. Maybe you might get, your wish with Dima.
Oh, let's go. It's a small map, tight
utility.
corners.
It's a very small map. It'd be perfect.
Yeah. Let's go. Come on. Everybody in chat that comes here week after week, they're tired of hearing me say it. Just play it, man. Just play
I'm just trying to help you get that jacket. Because, if
Jack
gets tired of it eventually, social team might talk to somebody.
Listen, from a scale of 1 to 10, I would say like 10 being the most happy, right? I would say like 9 out of 10 with the Road Company jacket. 10 out of 10 if someone is able to give me an exact replica of Dima's jacket, right? And don't send me a suit jacket saying it's the Bank Heist skin, okay? Well, it looks just like it. No, it doesn't count. You know what I'm talking about, right? But yeah, there's also a new hill I forgot to mention, Icarus. The D hill is where the B bomb site is in Demolition. Okay. So that's moved. I think it was like that last week as well. So it's no longer – the hill is no longer – because it used to be hill 1 and 4, A and D.
Yep.
Alpha and Delta, whatever you want to say, 1, 4, A, D, Alpha, Delta. It used to be the same place, right? So the first hill you start off with was the last hill. That's no longer the case. That D hill is now where the B bomb site would be. So some rotations have changed because of that. If it goes CD, that's a short rotation through that little hallway. And then if it's not, it depends. I mean, all rotations here are short to begin with because the map's small, but some rotations are kind of long, right? Going from A to C or maybe A to D. It just depends because now those rotations, the hills are random in random order. So we'll see. Yep. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be a good match. I love watching Icarus, King of the Hill. Demolition was kind of a util dump. King of the Hill is also a util dump, but we expect that on every King of the Hill map, right? Especially in that first 10 seconds. You just see everything fly. I know Rome and I, we like to count everything that comes out to see if everything comes out from every player at the start of a King of the Hill on Glacier in that small room. We just go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, whatever it may be. I think we got up to like 14 in under a minute last week. So we'll see if we get any Glacier maps today for King of the Hill, or maybe if we get more on this Icarus, we'll let you guys know. I'll be counting, don't worry. But
I expect it. I fully expect it on this map of all maps.
You expect it? Okay.
Especially
only
with
the first
how
round,
a team
though.
with
The other rounds don't
hold.
count.
With how close BC and DR are to each other, if a team, if you get them all in, succession, if they do end up randomly generated that way, whether A is first or last, if you have an ironclad hold, you're going to be respawning, dying, and immediately respawning again to throw more utility at it. We could see a lot happening very quickly if one team can live through it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the A site is on an island now, right? It's just all by itself over there. There's like 2 whole passages in the way, and then all of a sudden there's B, C, and D all fighting for like the same spot, pretty much, is what it seems like, because they are all pretty much border to border. But I just can't wait to get into this game because it'll be interesting. Just Drew bring out his comfort pick in Ronin, like it's available. The invisibility to all reveals, it helps, but again, you'd be mostly getting it just because of the comfortness that you have with it. Once you play a character for so much, you realize what you can do with it. You can kind of figure out how fast you can like shoot, throw a ballistic knife, grenade, things like that. But enough talk. Everybody wants to see the game, so let's hop right into it. Game number 2 coming at you in our first semifinal matchup here in Road Cup number 2. Qualifier number 2. It's Road Cup number 1. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure I get that right. Don't forget, you guys can sign up for qualifier number 3 at checkmategaming.com or follow us on Twitter at CMG_Rogue. But we've got LAGr versus Hefty. I almost said Hefty Cormorant. That's stuck in the back of my head. Hefty Fox. And Hefty Fox leads 1-0.
With strong performance in the last map, too. Again, I do fully expect to see it almost repeated here on Icarus. See if they can
ladies and
make
gentlemen,
that happen when we are able to get in. But
someone went missing. Where are you? Where art thou, Rogue? I was going to say,
someone must have picked Ronin. They didn't find them with the reveal.
Yeah, they couldn't reveal Ronin.
Probably
Drew was hiding.
They couldn't find them.
Hiding in the loading bar. I was going to say, we usually see the fly-in, so we don't get to see the load-in. We got to see it. That looks like a real town in Italy, by the way. That does not look fictional. I was born in a small town like that in Italy, so that looks like an actual place you can go to in Italy. So I love that from our team, and I love that from the devs as well, trying to make things look really good and they look realistic. And that's what people really want in video games, apparently, is they want.
How close were you born to the plane crash?
Well, that's a space shuttle, I think. I wasn't.
It was satellite crash. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Whatever it may be. Yeah. Nowhere.
Glad you were. Glad you were.
Although I wish,
because
wouldn't I get like a superpower from some leaking radiation or something?
Maybe.
Like that? That's usually how it works, right? I would get a superpower.
It's the origin story of the next Rogue. We don't want to leak. You don't want to leak that one a little bit too early, but hopefully, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna jump into our Rogue select. We are ready this time. I hope. I promise. If we're not, you can blame me. Icarus, game 2. Rogue selection coming through. Remember, the bans are Fixer and Vi, so you will not see those coming through. We are going to see the Lancers coming through. They've been locked.
Okay.
Can't pick that Switchblade, buddy. It is not available for the month of August. Chalks will be locked in place. And Anvil, that's another power pick we don't touch on as much. Usually it's banned. Like to see Elvin on it. Scorch, one of those comfort power picks, apparently. I talked about in the last matchup. This time, Drew will be bringing it out. Slop on the Kestrel this time. Fank on the Lancer, something I'm not accustomed to. Will be interesting to see that. And then Spencer bringing out what we are probably going to see is the Nightshade, but it's a Phantom nonetheless. I like this.
I would like to see. I like seeing the Phantom, I think, here on King of the Hill in general, because I feel like just chipping away from a distance, you can kind of wear them down even more with utility. That Grievous Wounds passive, something that wasn't really being explored as much, and I'm happy to see it kind of being brought in here. One little tag on top of some other damage can really hurt.
Here we go as we are jumping in, already hitting the quick and quiet, trying to get possibly to the porch here. I was going to say either porch or alley, and he chooses porch. Just hanging out. Nice Sunday afternoon. Throws his Semtex, but he gets nothing from his. Instead, King Prenade finds him with it. And now everything is falling apart except for the Chalk from Rock Soldier. He's the only one who survives the bombardment. And just as I say that, Spencer hits him with the frag grenade. Oh my goodness, she got hit so hard she bounced up in the air. Things are getting chaotic here on the first objective. Only 14 points have been scored out of the possible 55 for that first objective. Now the rotations and the early setup are starting to happen. Elvin putting the shield up, creating a little line of sight blockage for himself to create new angles to hold, as he is now behind the tree. Has a C4 in his hand. Tosses that out. I think it landed right on the beginning of the steps. Yep, it did. As they get shot out quickly. 1 down, 2 down. I don't think the spam crouch was needed, but just for extra flair. Picking up that extra cash off the ground as well. swaps the position he's holding. They might not expect him. Perfect. They're throwing grenades behind the shield. And once all that util comes out from behind the shield, they're like, oh, he's not there. He rotates back, but it's too late. Phantom coming through a smoke. She can see clearly now, for that smoke has lifted. The other one is hers, and it will reveal any who walk through it. She finds the kills that she needs. She takes control of the objective. They start to soak up some points themselves. Only 18 on the side of Hefty Fox. And just as quick as Phantom was there, she's gone. Nice C4. Elvin finds a double. Fanatics and Fank are the victim to that, and it is just a bloodbath on this objective. Phantom and Elvin, they're going back and forth, trying to take control of it. It's pretty much garbage time at this point. The Sea Hill will be the next one. That's the one in the middle with the well, and it's going to be a dogfight.
The team, again, that previously held B will have a large advantage here. Elvin trying to retake it just to get this high ground. Even though it's not the point position that you can hold, you still want to have control of that space. So Elvin gives his life to try to take it. Unable to do it right now. Fank wins one gunfight. Fanatics hard holding that space. You can tell you can't just stack everyone on the objective. You have to have some surrounded areas covered, and Slop trying to hold one of those rotations will be caught out by basically the full team, and these grievous wounds coming into effect. No chance to regenerate. Spencer finds that little bit of chip to get the next down here, but the Anvil able to make it in, able to drop the shield, and Elvin is going to contest and at least even out the score a little bit.
Fanatics starting to make some plays for himself as he just finds a double. He ended up going down very quickly after, but that's pretty much the name of the game here in King of the Hill. Get as many kills as quickly, because you're probably going to die in a second or two. If you're able to hold it, that means you're someone who is pretty much a tank, like this man here. Vi and Anvil, pretty much the two that can kind of survive for the longest on the objectives, unless you're pretty well hidden and you have every line of sight covered at the moment. They did manage to score a lot of points in that Sea Hill themselves, so Hefty Fox did catch up a little bit, but they still trail by 10, and that lead is growing inch by inch, as now the D Hill, the new one we talked about here, where that B site is, usually in Demolition on Icarus, although you won't see Demo Icarus in the Roco comp, at least for this month. That could change in the future. Who knows? You know, the players might not agree, but hey, if the viewers want it, we give the viewers what they want, right? They're holding this pretty strong.
Unless it's Dima, I know if the viewer is you.
Oh yeah, apparently they don't want Dima. Never mind. Viewers don't get what they want. Elvin finds another one. Finds another with the C4, and they are breaking through and holding this again. That shield not completely blocking that doorway, but just enough to where they can't pass through, I think. We'll have to see if anyone tries to go through. Slop with the Stalker. Padded steps, most likely. Although probably not prioritized as heavily in King of the Hill as it would be a Demo. He still gets taken out regardless. Didn't matter. SLC coming out from the Scorch. She finds Spencer. And that's 3 members down for Hefty Fox. They've had 56 points for the entire time the D-Hill has been active, and that comes back to bite them. A great hold from LAGr as they lead 1-0 here in our King of the Hill for game number 2.
And Drew is fragging out on this Scorch. I mean, 16 downs for him, but I think that final hill came down to just that middle control. Every time we went to see what was going on there, someone was holding there, dancing from side to side, avoiding all of that utility going in. It can be easy to break with some of the angles you have. It's clear where people are going to be holding on it, but being able to just dance around the middle of it, they were dodging so much utility, making it a lot harder to actually dislodge them. And then had a couple people right up front, one person dodging all the util and everyone else locking down all the other choke points. It made that significantly harder to break and let them really snowball from their previous hold here. But everything's been reset pre-nade with the first down, and Elvin with the next. This is a solid start to a respawn for LAGr.
Yeah, this time they were able to survive the chaoticness on that first hill a little bit better. Oh my goodness, Slop Spencer 10 downs apiece for their team, but on the other side, it is a slaughter, is what it's looking like. Incend comes out onto Anvil. He can't do anything but to take that fire to the face, and King Prenade on the flank with a double. That's the 24S in the new update, ladies and gentlemen, as we quickly swap from Lancer to Lancer POV. Slop finds one, finds two. Did he find a third? I can't even tell. No, he didn't. He just finished off one of the first knocks. I was going to say if he gets a triple kill there, that would be devastating on the rotation. Shotgun coming out from Fank, by the way. The Striker, 8x10, I think, is the official name. Also got a little bit of an upgrade itself. Damage fall off significantly reduced. So you can do a little bit more damage from far away. Look at that damage. Won't get credit with the knock. Neither on the second. The Nax finishing everything off. And then quickly Fank falls to a C4. But still, the spread from that shotgun. He is doing massive amounts of damage there. The pellets through the smoke are just tagging you up. Damage was also increased from 64 to 72 if you upgrade it once, by the way.
And there's a lot of money in this mode. I'm sure they're going to be doing that here, and every attempt from LAGr to break in is just not working. The fact that Hefty Fox gave up all that garbage time on the first hill just to hold this one when all three are so close to each other. Such a heads-up play as the Fnatic is just crushing on this chalk.
Look at this angle from Elvin!
But he's playing the angle, but it's not doing anything here. The MPL stopped the sticky sensor, but they just cannot break this hold.
Well, they have now. The objective kind of cuts right there, as you can see it. Cuts around the corner, so he can shield where he did and still be behind the wall, have double cover. He ends up going down because she pushed into his face, but she falls shortly after. The Fanatics finds that another one. 74 is where it'll stall out for just a brief second. And look how quickly the objective changes hands in this third hill. It's just back and forth, back and forth. It's so wide open. I mean, you can get shot from half wall. You can get shot from stage, shot from Lion, get shot from the D doorway, get shot from the A side of the map. So wide open. You've got to be a madman to want to be the guy who has to sit on that objective. Now it's going to be transitioning in about 10 seconds to the last and final hill. The last chance for LAGr to put this away. Hefty Fox is going to try and force this to a round 3. LAGr did lose their King of the Hill in their first matchup today in their quarterfinals. But they're looking good here. 1-0 it is.
And they were able to absorb all that garbage time from Hill C because of how close they were here. As trying to push back in Prene, just so tough to dislodge from this. Him and Elvin have been just heroes, keeping them in the game here. A full wipe from the side of Hefty Fox as LAGr retakes, and they will overtake in terms of the ticks here. So many downs for them as well. This could just be a 2-0 swing back on King of the Hill, the mode I thought they might struggle on. So maybe I shouldn't trust my own analysis here, but they're already taking a very big forward position. Should surprise Slop and win that one, and it's just getting even harder for Hefty Fox.
You also have to realize this is the first major CMG event that Fank and Fanatics are playing King of the Hill in. So
that's true.
It's the tale of two struggles. LAGr, who don't look too good on the respawns period, compared to a team with 2 members, maybe even 3. I mean, who knows? Spencer maybe hasn't played any major CMGs, excluding the community tournaments, excluding the weekly CMGs. Talking about only 10Ks with respawns. I think 3 of them possibly have not played. Shield gets knocked out. Drew walks through the door and instantly gets sprayed down. Spencer finds another one. It is sudden death. They need 12 points, but it won't work out. 2-0. They break through. Nice flank from King Prene to finish that off. From the backside, they take game number 2. Man, I mean, like I was saying, 2, maybe even 3 with Spencer that haven't played a King of the Hill in a major CMG tournament versus a team that also struggles in respawns over the course of the last few tournaments, but they're able to win it. Let's take a look at the replays. They're going to be coming at you right now. And Kresnik, thoughts?
I mean, just from how they had ended up playing the final hills once they actually broke through. I thought that it was smart by Hefty Fox. I mean, we talk about how they haven't played a ton of King of the Hill, but they made the right call. They lose A, they say, all right, just hold B. It is so crucial to what we want to do. They had a absolute lockdown on that B there, but unable to retake it once they finally got knocked off on C. And they didn't really have C for as long as you'd want to have it. They were getting contested quite a bit of the time. Once they finally broke it down, they just could not get back in. Only at the very end were they able to do it. So I really think, even though they knew what to do, they made the right play. They just could not really make their utility hit. They were getting caught off guard by people. LAGr knew the map well enough to hold around close corners to surprise the members of Hefty Fox that were trying to push and retake and set up. They just were never allowed a chance to actually get all their util on the site at the same time. And that's why they were never able to really break it until the very end when they had a heroic gunfight win.
Don't be fooled. That's two different replays from the same Lancer in the same position. He was able to do it twice effectively. So got to turn around. But when you have Stalker and padded steps and a 24S and quick and quiet, it's kind of deadly, right? I guess that's what you can say. 24S in Lancer's hand helps them win game number 2. 2-0 in that King of the Hill on Icarus. LAGr take that game, and now they even the series out. They're going to another game 3 now. So they'll be going to Breach for Demolition. LAGr, they looked good on Demo in their first matchup. They lost their respawn in the quarterfinals, but this time they lose the Demolition. They win the respawn. Now they have to win the Demolition. On the other side, though, Hefty Fox, they look like a more comfortable team in Demolition compared to their King of the Hill. Slop, however, looks comfortable on both sides, so it doesn't really matter. Be interesting to see what the bans are and what they're going to bring out, mostly because Breach is a map that a lot of teams haven't really practiced as much in the Demolition, unless they're grinding rank, and it's coming up a lot. There's not a lot of teams, from what I've been told, that are practicing very heavily on Breach, but they're starting to, because they've realized it's in the rotation and it's coming up quite a few times. We saw it last week. We're going to see it here today again. It's also one of those maps that we
got to remember that this is also new players that haven't played in a while coming back here for this map that they probably don't have a ton of time on. I mean, I'm sure maybe Fanatics caught the very tail end of it. The last time we saw him compete, it's really just Slop and maybe Spencer that have put the time in on Breach to understand it. This could be, we saw them be successful in Demo on Windward, Windward from the very start of the game until now. This could be a different look if LAGr have put the time in.
Yes, exactly. And it'd be interesting to see how they, or not how they attack this, but which way they go, either defense or, So, okay, I'm confusing myself. On attack, we don't know if A or B is the heavily favored site yet, because we haven't seen Breach as much in the competitive scene in a demo for Demolition. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategies are for both of these teams. Again, it's EU versus NA. It's also a toss-up. You got a couple players that haven't played in a while, haven't played Breach as much competitively in this setting. They've been practicing. You can practice it all you want, but when you get into the actual competitive day, tournament day, things could change, right? So that's how we will see. Intel's going to be huge here, mainly because this map is kind of big, right? The rotations are massive when you want to play defense. We saw Just Us Roco play this map last week, and there was one point you could tell they didn't practice this map. Rome could tell, I could tell. There was one round on attack where they kind of just went up mid, and they got into the mid, and as soon as they walked out the door, they looked like they were trying to run away when you turn the lights on, right? Because they were like, oh crap, we're in the wide open. And then all of a sudden, 3 of them died instantly. So we'll see how these teams go about it, which way they'll go, A or B, what type of Intel rogues they'll bring out, if Ronin will be banned, because the map's huge. The rotations are massive. Reveals are going to be immediately needed for both sides, attack and defense. So Ronin has to be a ban here. If not, I will be very surprised. Could also see a fixer ban, of course, because he could just kind of shoot you from a distance. Maybe even a Talon will come out. Who knows? We could see some Dallas come out as well. I'd like to see a Devotion Dallas. If I'm not going to get Dima, can I get a Devotion Dallas?
I think if that's possible anywhere, it would be here. You're talking about intel being so important because it's such a big map. It's also because if these teams haven't practiced this map specifically, they're going to be flying by the seat of their pants, right? They're going to be going off the top of their head, and if they have information, they can make counterplays. They can make choices like that here on Breach map number 3. They can make those choices if they have those intel rogues.
Hey, there's only one way to find out what intel rogues are coming out, Kresnik, and that's to jump into the game. So let's go ahead and do that because it's game number 3 of our semifinals 1 here for today. It's LAGr versus Hefty Fox. It's EU versus NA, and we're on Breach, and it's Demolition. So strap in the seatbelts, get your popcorn, whatever it may be that you need to do to prepare yourself for this game because it is sure to be a good one here. And it's also one filled with question marks because our sample size of Demolition on Breach is very small. So you all will be learning as well as us.
Do have those bans for you. Lancer and Glitch have been the ones removed from the pool, which means Fixer is free, but it won't be in the hands of Slopadopoulos, Blue. That's something that I think we were discussing the whole time. It's going to be Fenk that has him in hand. Likely the Deadeye here, we'll have to see. But Ronin mirrored on both sides. You were talking about countering reveals, but there really aren't many reveals or any reveals beyond maybe some tracker rounds in the pocket.
I was going to say, if you don't ban Ronin and you pick her, I think you just say to yourself, well, they're going to pick Ronin, guys, so we don't need a reveal, really. So we'll see what happens. There is a Fixer on both sides. There is a Ronin on both sides. There is a Dahlia on both sides. But there is a little bit of a difference, a little flavor coming out. There's a Kestrel coming out for Hefty Fox, and that will be the Dahlia link for the defense. The attacking side for LAGr will be linking to the Ronin, however. We'll see how big of a difference that makes.
Interesting considering the reveals that you would go for the Ronin link instead. I mean, maybe later in the game when there's actually going to be other stuff there for it, but either way, even with the link, he's going to be aggressive. Might just be for that res rather than the passive that you get as well. Lots of smokes, shield is down, APS down, bomb getting planted, but they can't get down. There is just so much utility and pre-nades in the grave.
I think he was trying to check the corner from where Fixer came from, right in the face. Fank on it. Finds Elvin with the warrant. Drew found one himself. It's also interesting that Elvin is the one playing the Ronin here. This might come back to haunt them just because, you know, Drew is your Fixer and your Ronin player, and if you got to pick both of them, what other player gets one of those rogues? Well, looks like Elvin's going to be the Ronin. Even if you do pick the Fixer, I think Elvin can handle the Fixer well enough to where you say, we need to give Drew the Ronin. That's his go-to. That's his number one. But he's not going to be the one playing it. First round did go to the defense. It was kind of a chaotic battle once it started. Once the smokes dissipated, it got kind of nuts.
Yeah, and even with the smokes up, it really didn't matter that much because there's Fixers on both sides. They were able to still trade damage into it, really kind of disregarding anything else here. After how that went last time, they're going to be looking towards an A-side push with Drew kind of just lurking, trying to find anybody that crosses here. And again, Prenade will get shut down in the middle of trying to plant this. I don't know if they know what angles they honestly have to cover. It seems like a consistent issue now, 2 rounds in a row with Elvin now the next to fall.
And the bomb has been lost at sea once again for the second round in a row. Tried to plant it behind that anvil shield again in the smoke, but Fank, I don't know if he had his goggles popped, but he couldn't find the rest of those shots to hit through that smoke. He ended up going down to his counterpart, but his team helped him out very quickly as well. Fank, this is super impressive to me. I've never seen him play half the rogues that he's playing here today, and he's impressing me on all of them. He played the Kestrel. Now he's playing the Fixer. 4 downs. Top in the lobby after 2 rounds, as they lead 2-0 from the defensive side.
I think he's been grinding on an ult this whole time, Blue, to keep track of everything that he needs to know going in here, because he seems to be getting pretty warm here in the semifinals. I think he'll be the one covering their attack this time. But an early nade will down him, actually. Elvin getting some revenge for the previous rounds, and I think I'm pretty happy to see that in hand. That's the tier held by Drew Whitlock, as he looks for some people crossing, trying to challenge it, but the Natix doesn't stay long enough to take that second bullet. The bomb will go down off the back of these picks, and another one bites the dust, courtesy of
Fixer. Hello, Kresnik? He's using the tier, and he just hit him off the somersault, baby. I'm liking the spice coming out. Elvin with the ballistic knife finds one. Fanatics now in trouble. Has 2 in front of him. Finally, the attackers prevail. 1 round for them. They trail by 1. It's only 2-1, but still very early on.
And that was a good round for them. I mean, obviously they won it, so it's a good round, but they shouldn't have to rely on these kind of random picks. I mean, it was a nade. It might not work again. It shouldn't work again on Fank if he plays careful. They need to be winning rounds off of kind of just out positioning them. I think the Fixer spot in mid to catch them as they rotate from one to the other, that was probably the most heads-up play that they had, but otherwise it was kind of just a raw numbers game that LAGr were able to play, and they need to be able to do that off the back of positioning rather than purely off of a cooked nade.
Yeah, they've got to get some sort of constant strategy instead of just relying off of first picks. Oh, we see this person here. Oh, we killed them. Now we can do this. Set a plan and set a backup plan as well. Smokes come out. They've got a lot of smoke potential on the attacking side. That's 3 members. So potentially that's 5 smokes that could come out once they get that money flowing in. Currently, though, that wouldn't be the case. Fank finds Drew, and that's a massive pick. Fixer on Fixer brutality. Elvin, though, with the KA-30 finds 1. Pre-nade finds 1 himself. Finds a second one. That's the round. It's all tied up at 2.
That started so close, but I think they were just too spread on their pincer from the defense there. It was close to even. They got it down, and then suddenly LAGr said, all right, well, we'll just swing like a big death ball, and we'll pick off those trying to rotate around us one by one, and it works perfectly. They wiped them all out. They forced them into bad fights. Off the back of a solid out-positioning, I think, earlier, that MLX catching someone unawares once again. I like that they're finding and abusing the holes in the defense, but again, they just got to shore up, I think, make sure that they have coverage on each other rather than leaving someone alone in an island to potentially get caught out and abused.
Heading towards this A site, jumping up and quickly backing off, seeing if anyone is up there ready and waiting for them. They do knock out the window. Remember, this is the only map that has like destructible lines of sights that you can create. The window, and then there's a wall to the right. You can also shoot out those little targets that kind of block where people's heads would be if they popped up behind some walls. The fight is being taken all the way back to the attacking spawn. Can he win both of them? Slopadopoulos! Oh my goodness, the revive came through and he re-knocks him again. He gets taken out as well, but it doesn't matter. The Halo drone secured that one. Bomb is defused. What a flank by Kestrel. He died for it, but he essentially got a triple onto 2 members. Oh my.
Okay. I don't know not much else to say about that one. Just a heroic play. Winning a fight that he really had no good reason to win. Still making it work, getting the down sword, getting the extra cash. Not as much as he might be used to. I guess he's been playing recently, but not as much as previously, but still good to line the pockets. Helping him push a little bit further ahead as they push ahead in this full score line as well. They'll pop the stim shot. They'll try to take some space here. You can see another A-side push from them. Elvin. Close spot to the right, but Slop just playing with these padded steps. Trying to get a flank off, and actually might do it. Absolutely no one is watching this. Will he check his corner? He will, and that is a completely unaware Drew Whitlock. Huge advantage for them, and I think he might have the tier to play around with now.
No reveal characters at all, and this is what happens. Spencer, Fanatics, Fank, Slop, all 4 getting in on that action. It all opened up when Drew's back did not turn.
There's no reason he should have turned either. I mean, just perfect timing. Unfortunate for Drew to look so unaware in that situation.
He came the exact same way. It's not even like he swapped up his route. He flanked the same way.
Okay, maybe he should have been looking. I think they were just trying to play off audio, but you know that Kestrel's got to have padded steps at this point. I thought maybe they thought he would mix it up, but we might see it happen a third time. Here comes Slop once again. Not popping the stim shot early this time, just waiting, expecting someone to counter it, but he might end up running face first into a full stack here.
This time they might be ready for him. He did take a little bit of a different route. I mean, he could have went the same way. They're not even looking in that direction. He definitely could have done the same play for the 3rd straight time. Didn't capitalize on it. Maybe he got a little scared. Maybe he's just playing too many mind tricks. Rock Soldier, nice little nade, bounces in and takes down Slop. He's available for the revive. It will come through. Gets knocked by a C4. And then Fanatics gets taken out. Finished off. Slop gets finished off. 2 members did fall for the attackers. And now it's a 2v1. Fixer's alive on both sides. Using the tier, interesting choice, but that's what we like to see, baby. We want to see those headshots coming through. He's got 1 already.
Bomb's active.
Planting the bomb.
It's fun. It's fun to see him pull it out. You know, be able to get these picks from long range. It worked for them earlier. It hasn't been paying off quite as much. And this is a harder situation, I think, to really make it work. And he'll have to play off this C4. It seems like they might know where he is. No, they have no idea. Caught from behind, but using the pistol instead. I think he had to go for the miracle shot there, but just not confident enough to go for it. And that will put us right at half. A 5-2 defensive half for a team that we were worried about knowing the map comfortably, but seem to be making it work very well here and well positioned here to take the set.
Hey, I mean, you know, we can only go off of what we know most of the time.
True.
You know, I'm not the coach. I'm not the scout. I'm not on their team. I can't sit in on their practices and know if they are practicing breach, but hey, they're looking really good on it, especially Slop with these flanks. Could have done the same thing in that final round, but he decided not to. He paid for it with his life, too. He got stuck inside that doorway, went down to a bounce nade, got picked up, went down to a C4, then got finished off. Drew, however, I think you're right. Got to go for that miracle shot. Get the head with the tier and then swap to the pistol for the second man. I think if he would have downed the first one, he would have had a good chance to win that fight out with both of them. But we'll see how it goes moving forward. Fank back on the Fixer once again. We'll see if he's going to be pulling out. Well, he's still using the classic jetpack there, but we'll see if he'll be pulling out the Deadeye again. That was his weapon of choice. Remember, you only got to pay for one of them. You get them both now, so that's the awesome part. You can pull out the tier in the first round and then, or the second round, but the first round with primaries, you know, I'm not feeling too comfortable with it. Let me pull the DMR back out.
And I love that change. gives them so much flexibility, honestly, and being able to kind of make some cheeky plays where you can swap one round, swap back for the next. I do like it, and obviously wouldn't have really worked out in this play specifically. It's an aggressive rush plant onto A. Everyone stays alive. No one could contest it from LAGr. They have a 2-2 split now, but they're already down their fixer on the low ground. That's Drew, stuck crawling as Fink plays on this APS. And they got to get in, but they got to play with a big disadvantage.
Look at him firing onto Elvin through the railing, through the doorway, from the first floor. Oh, my goodness. The line of sight you can create on this map. Knocking out the wall allows them to kind of just shield up the bomb here. Jumping through the window, he hits a few of those shots, turns to his right, downs Dahlia, reloads the weapon. Can he turn? One! Oh, my goodness. Can he find the third one? Yes, he can. Fink!
Okay.
Oh my, 13 elims, 11 downs. Whoo, with money in the bank. Excuse me, I stand corrected when I say this man might have some rust to dust off. He is making a massive impact for this team here today from the get-go.
I mean, the fixer just, it was clean there, hiding in the smoke, listening out for people to rush past him. Just the moment of a jump where he gets 60 damage in on someone with a double headshot with the Warren. I mean, just an absolutely beastly play by him there, clutching up for the team. I think just the time he bought was enough for them to win, but he went above and beyond. Cleaned house immediately afterwards as well. Looks like the same strat might be implemented here. It's 4 versus 2. If they get one person, it could be easier for the team here, but cluster smoke in the back. I don't think they see Grenade, and the player hiding up top works out for them. All these little close range hiding plays put LAGr in a solid position.
Bomb still hasn't been planted. I think this is the slowest A push that they've had so far. King Prenade does find another one. It is all falling apart. They survive another round. 6-3. We're going to round 10 here.
Bringing it back a little bit.
Little profile. Was that your avatar? Yeah, your avatar on the top, right? It's animated.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. You see? I mean, you know, the skins just get better and better. That goes hand in hand with the other cosmetics. I mean, we got hoverboards, dude. Did anybody think we were going to get hoverboard? It's like, you're like Rogue Company, you're like, oh, I want a new skin. How about we give you new skins with a hoverboard, dude? Come on now. Awesome.
Definitely sick. Love the new animation. Mixing it up a little bit, you know. People come out of the plane. One of the things I'm sure people were clamoring for, now they have in hand for them. Down one early on LAGr. Probably maybe a hoverboard accident on the way in. I like the team helping him. Bomb getting planted, though, with the APS to help it out. Interesting angle there, but get away fairly cleanly. It will be a 1-for-1 here. Now downed is that Drew Whitlock playing such a solid angle back in a 2 versus 2 here. Drew doing everything for his team right now, literally, but has the Ronin to back him up just in case things get a little dicey as they try to clear out not really a ton of information.
Taking out what little utils left on the ground. Elvin finds the shots. Oh my goodness. The crouch spamming, walking backwards down the staircase. Come on. Come on, Elvin. You got a devil emoji in your name now, and you're sure looking that disgusting.
Did take away the ace from Drew, though. I will say Drew was kind of just stomping on him at the start of that round, but it's a team game, obviously. They did what they could. Both the players that are at the bottom right now, leaderboard-wise, for LAGr, but still showing up when it matters, and that's all you can really ask for in a situation as tense as this, when elimination could be in the distance. And on the other side, it could be grand final contention if they make it all the way there, if they can recover from the deficit they started this one at already. Performing fairly well here, though. I like this angle from Fink, that sitting up there, just trying to find somebody, but They could be hiding in the same positions as some of those earlier rounds to punish them. Soldier right there. Must see Slop at this point, but it seems like he sees him as well. Nade's treated both ways, but only Slop is the one to fall.
That's the better nade. Rock Soldier has a normal frag. He can cook it and throw it perfectly timed right on top of his head as, oh my goodness. Slop is, every time he dies, man, he's getting blown up by something. He gets revived and he instantly gets blown up again. That's the second time he's gone down to a nade, gotten revived, and then C4 down once again. Nice shots coming out from Fank. He's going to have to make some hero plays from this top window. Bomb has been planted, however. So now they've got to get in there and get a defuse. They've won 2 rounds in a row on this defensive side. Again, I mean, LAGr, they're playing some solid defense here in Demolition today in any map that we throw at them. So you got to give them credit to that. They've really been working on their defense, especially when a lot of the maps in the pool, from what we've seen, have been really attack-sided. Fank ends up falling. Drew found those shots. He's trying to find any way to poke damage out from behind this giant beast of an incursion vehicle. Chasing him around the corner. Can't find the shots. And that will be the 7th round for Hefty Fox. They are 1 away from making themselves a top 2 contender for today and guaranteeing themselves $200 to the least.
So close again for Drew. I mean, he hits the early headshots, gets the down, gets them both so low hiding behind the truck, but just too slow to actually finish off that bit of damage. And the fact that they got that bomb down really put things in a difficult spot for LAGr. That's the one thing they were able to kind of stop in some of the earlier rounds. Every time that bomb's down, it seems like LAGr struggled to win the round, I think, as expected from this here. Will it be the same play? Looks like it might be. Bomb in the hands of the Anvil. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now, 3 players holding here with Elvin making this tradition as well. And 2 up top to stop this potential rush, but they have to give up this ground, and they've lost. They actually found a pick on the other side of the map onto Slompodopoulos already.
And you can see how different they are playing this. He waited to take out that fake wall. They have shredder rounds. Of course, with an LMG, they take out that shield quickly. Bomb left out in the open. He's going to grab it pretty quickly. Throws a C4. APS takes care of that, which means he has to push past this blue barrier. They find 1. They find 2. Rock Soldier found Fanatics himself, but there's only 2 members standing for the attacking side. It's Fixer and Anvil, and it doesn't matter. They get the job done. Fink, Spencer. Whew. They do what's needed there to end that game. Game 3 goes in favor of Hefty Fox. They'll be moving on to the finals. But, man, oh, man. We're going to have some replays here in a few seconds. And just as I say that, they tell me that they're ready. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replays. As Kresnik tells us, I mean, LAGr played great defense in all of the demos today. They just couldn't close it out here against what people would say is the better team.
Yeah, and LAGr's adaptations in the end were helping bit by bit, but it was never like a guaranteed thing. It always kind of came down to a hero play from somebody on their team to keep them in contention. Even in the rounds they failed at it. I mean, Drew almost kills 3 twice. Made it, I think, just significantly harder for them to have to rely on that. But, I mean, when the gunplay was on point, I think, from Hefty Fox in some of these, you can tell, especially this play by Fank, who was just crushing with the pistol, basically doing it all himself there near the very end of it. And they just could not consistently stop this A push. They were trying to change things up, but then I think they realized there was 2 players up top, so they stayed focused on the ground instead, pressuring out Elvin, who was holding that close angle. The changes that were being made by LAGr were being figured out before they even pushed in from Hefty Fox.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't get that out of my head. Bunny hop, hip fire, headshot twice in a row with a pistol. Wow. Wow. That's the Bloom upgrade for you there. Whew. Man, 8-4 in game number 3. Demolition on Breach. It goes in favor of Hefty Fox. They will take the series 2-1 and move into the finals. They've guaranteed themselves a top 2 finish and at the very least $200